you can't murder liberation. You can murder revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.
You're tapped in, so let's get right to it. By now, most of you have heard about the shooting that took place at the Islamic Center of San Diego, where 3 heroic men lost their lives defending the lives of others and a lot of children who were there at the facility at the time. One, AMIN ABDULLAH, MANSOUR KAZIHA, and NADIR AWAD. These men willingly gave their lives in the defense and protection of the lives of others. And again, especially children. There were over 140 children there in the facility at the time of the attack. Now, this attack took place May 18th by 2 teenagers, okay? The attack was a targeted hate crime. Let's put it like this. There's no other way to call it. A targeted hate crime, also / a terrorist act, all right? Was committed by these 2 heavily armed teenagers who had met online and bonded over white supremacist and generalized racist ideologies. The attack left the 3 community members dead before the suspects took their own lives in another location. The shooting was about, or the FBI is saying that the motive, and local authorities are saying that the motive revealed that the attackers, one 17-year-old CAIN Lee Clark and 18-year-old Caleb Liam VAZQUEZ, left behind writings outlining a broad hatred towards various religions and races, and had a vision of how the world should look, according to them. Investigators also discovered Islamophobic writings in their vehicle and hate-related slogans written on their weapons. From all accounts, there were a lot of guns recovered from the homes of these individuals also. So, you know, this is crazy. But the 3 victims, the 3 men who lost their lives, you know, protecting the lives of others, included a security guard. That would be AMIN ABDULLAH, while, you know, doing his job, his duties, you know, securing the area, being security in the area, he was confronted by the gunmen. All right. And then as a result of, he prevented them from entering the mosque and its attached school campus. The escalation was just hours before the shooting, though. Police were actively searching for Clark after his mother reported him missing, suicidal, and stated that several of her guns and her car were missing. The gunmen ultimately opened fire at the mosque around noon and were found dead a few blocks away from apparent self-inflicted gunshot wounds. And there is a video of this this young guy, whoever the driver was, supposedly or allegedly taking the life of the passenger before turning the gun on himself. That is online social media. I don't know how I got there, and people are starting to ask questions. Well, how did that get there? You know, how did it get online, being that it wasn't done or recorded live? You know, so there's that mystery. In any event, I have a clip to give us further context about this tragedy, you know, 3 lives that, you know, were sadly taken, again, protecting the lives of others. And then 2 other lives lost because of misdirection or being misguided in terms of how society should look according to racist ideologies that are floating about on social media. Let's bring this clip in. Before I do, please like, share, follow, comment, and subscribe to TAP, the Art of Political Discourse. Your participation and viewership, it does mean a great deal to us because so many of you have joined in and subscribed to this channel. We're able to continue to bring stories and content such as this so that you guys can get another opinion in terms of what is taking place. Now, without further ado, let's bring this clip in here. Again, I think it's disturbing just on the face of it. You know, again, two teenagers, lives, you know, just ruined by a whole lot of negativity that exists in society. And we see this all over the country, where the youth are involved in things that denies them a future. You know, they get caught up in all these ideologies, trends, you know, all these things that would tend to wreck a life rather than build one up. So it's sad to say that this seems to be commonplace in our society. If anything needs to be done, what needs to be looked at first is how social media caters and or provides this type of information. You know, it exposes our youth to very harmful content. Something needs to be done about that, you know. Now, without further ado, let's bring this clip in here because, again, it is insightful and it gives a greater context to the story. And this is courtesy of E-Times. So we send a shout out to E-Times for the usage of this material. Shooting. Final moments of MANSOUR go viral. Graphic suicide clip.
A horrifying mass shooting outside the Islamic Center of San Diego is now taking an even darker turn online after a disturbing alleged suicide video.
So these are your shooters. The one in the blue Letterman jacket is VAZQUEZ, I'm pretty sure. And the other is, what is that guy's name? CAIN, I think it is. Yeah, Clark. That's CAIN Lee Clark and Khalib Liam VAZQUEZ.
Linked to the teen suspects began spreading rapidly across social media.
For that guy to have the ideologies that they're saying or he allegedly had in terms of white supremacist and racist thoughts, that's odd for him to wear that hairstyle. You know, and a lot of people don't see nothing wrong with it, but that is a part of the Black culture right there. So it's just odd to see that. And it's equally odd to see what we suspect in terms of VAZQUEZ's name, Latino, probably being involved in something of this magnitude, of this gravity, you know?
Authorities say two teenage gunmen opened fire outside the mosque on May 18, killing 3 people, including a security guard, before both suspects were later found dead inside a white BMW just blocks from the scene. Investigators are currently treating the attack as a possible hate crime. The victims were targeted outside the Islamic Center, the largest mosque in San Diego County, while children attending classes inside the complex were forced to hide as gunfire erupted nearby. Police later confirmed all children were safely evacuated. Now, hours after the attack shocked America, a graphic video allegedly showing the final moments of the suspected shooters has exploded online. The clip, which is being circulated by an X account called, quote, Musty Chips, allegedly shows 17-year-old suspect CAIN Clark sitting inside a vehicle wearing what appeared to be tactical-style clothing. The video appears to be recorded from a dashboard-mounted camera inside the car. In the disturbing footage, the individual believed to be CAIN is first seen firing toward the passenger side of the vehicle before appearing to reload or adjust the weapon. Moments later, he shoots once more in the same direction, fueling speculation online that the second person inside the car may have been his alleged 18-year-old accomplice, Caleb VAZQUEZ. The video then allegedly shows the suspect adjusting the firearm once more before turning the weapon on himself. The clip abruptly ends after the gunshot, with the individual collapsing forward inside the vehicle. The video is roughly 15 seconds long. At this stage, authorities have not officially confirmed the authenticity of the footage, nor verified who recorded it, how it surfaced online,
Right.
or whether the individuals seen in the clip are definitively the two suspects involved in the mosque shooting.
Yeah, and that
Social media
is
users have also raised questions about the source of the footage, with one user directly commenting under the viral post asking, quote, "Where did you find this?"
he asks, how did you find this? And again, that is the mystery of this whole ordeal, of this tragedy. How did that clip get to social media? How did social media end up with this clip? Who posted this clip? I don't know, but uh, it may be, everything as we see it is not really that the way it is, or there could be the possibility that someone else is probably involved. Who knows? Who knows? But the fact is, the clip does exist and it's on social media. How did that occur?
Meanwhile, investigators say anti-Islamic writings and references to, quote, racial pride were allegedly found connected to the suspects and their weapons, further intensifying fears this may have been a premeditated hate attack.
You think?
As of early Tuesday, police say the investigation remains active. Federal agencies, including the FBI, are assisting, and the San Diego Muslim community remains on edge following one of the deadliest attacks on a mosque in recent American history.
At about 9:42 this morning, we received a call of a runaway juvenile. After speaking with the mom began to piece together bits and pieces of information over an extended period of time. The information that she was gathering and conveying to us began to elevate the threat level that we were perceiving with this information. She believed her son was suicidal, and she began to share information that several of her weapons were missing. Her vehicle was missing, in addition to her son. She also said that her son was with a companion.
And that companion would be VAZQUEZ, his accomplice.
And that they were dressed in camo. And that is not consistent with what we would typically see from somebody that is suicidal. That began to trigger a larger threat assessment picture. We noted that there were hits with the vehicle.
Well, I beg to differ in terms of what would be consistent with suicidal or being suicidal. Anytime you have individuals who not only think like this, but act out this behavior, for the most part, there has to be some parts of their brain that's saying, I'm going to end up dead as a result of this. And knowing this and yet still go into such an act or deed as that has to be in some way conforming or confirming to self that I'm going to die, I'm going to get myself killed, or I'm going to kill myself doing this, to kill myself equating with getting myself killed. To me, there's a parallel there that kind of, it matches. It was a suicide. That's suicide. To do something like that, be armed to the teeth like that, and not think that I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to get myself killed, but I'm going to, as a result of doing this. I don't know. I would start to question a lot of this stuff, or a lot of these incidents related to this, or these types of incidents taking place with individuals who, when they go about doing something of this magnitude, have to acknowledge, and we have to start looking at it like that, yet they are suicidal. They are suicidal. There's no other way to explain it. Most gunmen who do this type of thing and are caught, well, they don't get caught. They end up dead. So there has to be some acknowledgement in the person, the individual, that states to them, we're going to die as a result of this. Going to get myself killed. And to yet and still go ahead with this action, this crime, of hate or whatever, it's like okay in it, that would be an okay, almost a green light to say, all right, suicide's all right, and whether I'm doing it by my own hand or by suicide by cop, the end result is still the same. You're going to die. And it is suicidal. It's a suicidal way of thinking, So yes, suicidal people will dress in fatigues, arm themselves to the T with not only guns, but armor,
Down in Fashion Valley, we dispatched officers into the area of the mall as a possible location that was a threat.
Well, that was the end of that. Again, we're talking about 3 lives. I kind of understand you wanting to give reports in terms of who was involved, what, all that. Yeah, that makes sense. But right now we're talking about 3 men whose lives were lost because of 2 teenagers who did not value their own life. Again, Amin Abdullah, he was 51 years of age. The mosque's dedicated security guard for over a decade and a father of 8. All right. He was the first to confront the gunman, exchanging gunfire and initiating a lockdown protocol that prevented the shooters from reaching nearly 150 children inside the attached school. MANSOUR KAZIHA was 78 years of age, a beloved founding member, a handyman and shopkeeper at the center, known affectionately to the community members as AWAD. All right. And then NADIR AWAD, he was 57 years of age, a close neighbor and regular mosque attendee whose wife teaches at the school's center, or at the center's school. He and KAZIHA were in the parking lot and ultimately drew the shooter's focus away from the main building. These are heroes. These are heroes and martyrs, Again, we're living in those times in society where nothing is for sure anymore. Nothing is for sure anymore. We don't know when tragedy or trouble will confront any of us. But for those 3 men, there was no second guessing in terms of what they needed to do and how they needed to go about doing it so that the children inside that facility would not be harmed. So we have to honor these men. We should honor these men and their sacrificing of their lives so that other lives could live. This is an honor very few get, and fewer still would honor if it was confronted or if they were confronted by the same circumstances. So we honor those 3 men and we send our condolences to their families. Sad incident, very tragic. That's it for us. Tell us what you think about this incident. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know exactly how you feel. All right. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.
You can murder a liberator, but you can't murder liberation. You can murder a revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder